Good day, everybody. Captain Sam here with another message. And today's message is let's move out of the fog of deception and into the higher truths of a greater reality, right? So with that being said, I first want to give a shout out to one of my best buddies, Tony, who's having a birthday today. Tony is a great man. He's an uplifter. He supports his family. He's supporting the community. And he just happens to be a bankster. Yes, a bankster. You know, I made some disparaging remarks yesterday about the banking industry. They're all true. Everything I said, I believe 100%. So let's briefly talk about the mortgage industry real quickly. And I can say this because I've been a real estate broker since the 80s, and I've also had a loan originator's license, which I have declined to use because I just don't feel it in here any longer. Years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting a man named G. Edward Griffin. I attended an international conference where I met many men like him and some women that had strong hearts, courage, enthusiasm, and were extremely intelligent. When I read his book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and listened to his lectures, and I realized what a fraud. Yeah, it's a fraud. Our mortgage industry really is. And I'm not saying don't get a home and don't participate. Just understand what is really happening. Let's talk about the interest rates in a 30-year mortgage. If they're quoting you, or if you have a 4% or a 5% or a 6% interest rate, you never pay that, especially if it's a 30-year loan. A good rule of thumb to figure out what you're really paying is you take the number, you double it, and you add a zero. And that's your real interest rate. You can run an amortization schedule and you can see it in black and white. The numbers don't lie. And I challenge anyone that doesn't believe me to do so or have somebody do that for them, for you. Now, I'm not saying don't purchase a home and don't participate, because sometimes the only option is to deal with it. But there are ways that you can reduce the time down to 7 years or less, following some disciplined practices which are being taught by a number of companies today. But it takes discipline, and it's not the easiest thing to do, but it can be done. You know, they say the truth will set you free, and knowledge is power. Well, number one, knowledge alone is not power. It's simply knowledge. And there's so many people out there, especially a lot of scientists, people that got a lot of knowledge, but they don't have any power because they don't implement it. Knowledge is only power when it's applied. And my hat goes off to all the courageous men and women today that are standing in the truth of their hearts, the tenacity and the conviction of their minds, and are not afraid to speak up today. And God bless our country, because we still have the option here to speak the truth, where if you do so in a lot of other places, you're going to be prosecuted for it or persecuted. So God bless America and the course we're on, because we're changing course right now, and I'm happy for it, actually. I know we're going through some storms and all that, but that's all right. We'll get through it. So if you read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, just read chapter 5. That's all you need to read, and you'll understand what's happening. And then you can take some alternative measures to reduce your debt slavery. That's really what it is. That's okay, all right? So be happy, be joyful. It's contagious. Spread it around. The world needs a lot more of it today. I'm out for now. I love you all, and happy birthday again, my buddy Tony. You're the best.